All right, everybody. Welcome to the NoMercy Cast. This is our very first episode, which is really cool. I got my co-host Vortex. We're
Yo,
ready to get started. He's talking out of queue. It's okay, whatever. He's not gonna get dropped for that. We do have a fine coming in because he decided to talk while we were doing the introduction.
hold on. Let me pay for it right now. Oh, son of a bitch! Here you go.
Hey, all the coins! All right,
What's up, guys? It's me. I'm Vortex, and I'm here with this shit stain.
Okay. I mean, I wasn't talking. Um, so basically, we had a ton of issues going to start this, and we were gonna postpone it till tomorrow, but we decided that we're still gonna do it today. Then we're gonna upload the tomorrow most likely, so that way, in case people don't come in, first episode, I don't care if people don't show up. We have our own agenda that we're gonna do. I'm sure Vortex. He told me yesterday that he was gonna create the agenda, so I hope he did it. Vortex is fucking ugly, 100%. He said he was gonna do it, so I hope he did it.
Chat? Who's talking smack?
Griffin.
Griffin, of course.
He comes back to Twitter, and the very same day he starts talking smack. My God.
Bro, the haters, bro. Haters.
Haterade. People drinking haterade.
That's
All
what I'm
right.
saying, bro.
So I guess let's kind of just get into it.
Bro, so we got a bunch of good topics for today because we got to talk about what's going on in not just esports but in gaming news in general. First of all, what the fuck happened with Dr. Disrespect?
Okay, that's the first thing we're gonna go into.
Jump into it, bro. I'm gonna get some hype. I want to do something, bro. What happened to Dr. Disrespect, bro?
Okay, so obviously we all know he got banned. We don't know what happened, why he got banned. What's up, Benny? What's up, Griffin? What's up, Secret? Welcome to the podcast. We don't know why he got banned. We all have speculation. There's multiple different people that have said multiple different things. Dr. Disrespect starting his own streaming service with Ninja and Shroud and yada yada yada. On episode dose. We have another person lined up for episode dose, but that's gonna be neither here or there. We cannot give away that information. So basically, Dr. Disrespect was banned. They said, it's either sexual assault because of stuff that's going on. He's starting his own streaming service, which is against TOS, based on the contract that he signed with Twitch. I heard a couple of other ones that I don't exactly remember. It was something about his wife or something, cheating on his wife.
There's a lot of things with it, but like the whole thing is the reason people are scared to talk about it is because nothing is concrete at the moment right now. So it could be viewed as slander if it were to come out as it's not true, right? So we don't want to touch on what it could possibly be. My big focus, like my big question is, how does this affect esports in general? Because you have Dr. Disrespect, the biggest streamer on Twitch at the time, getting banned for a TOS breach, right? How does that affect people coming into the scene? How does that affect big companies coming into the scene, sponsorships, investors? Like, what are we gonna look at, and how far of a timeline is it gonna be until the scene recovers from it?
I mean, do you want the question first, so that way I know what I could rebuttal?
I just see the thing is, like, I feel like we're looking at such a long-term effect because, like I said, he was the biggest streamer on Twitch at the time. Does this horrible thing, like, we don't even know. It's so bad that nobody's talking about it, and it's so big that there's gonna be, as far as I've seen, there's gonna be a multi-million-dollar lawsuit going on in either direction. So it's such a massive thing that without much information, we can't really, there's nothing we can speculate on. But I mean, if you look at Gillette, who was one of his biggest sponsors, what are we gonna do? Like, what's gonna happen? Is that gonna stop Gillette from coming in? There's other companies that are not necessarily esports based. Are they gonna keep coming in, or are they gonna refrain and be like, well, the biggest dude that looked so amazing on paper, is this gonna happen again?
So basically, like, what I'm thinking is, obviously Dr. Disrespect is a big name, and everybody has severed ties with him. Like, everybody.
Yup.
Was it Discord severed ties, Twitch severed ties, Meta Threads severed ties? Everyone did. So me thinking, people who don't understand what's going on, of course there's a lot of sexual assaults and allegations and all that stuff, but it, just to be honest, it hasn't stopped investors or people from going into other genres and other things in the past, where there's a lot of sexual allegations in the workforce own. In the movie industry, there was sexual allegations against everybody, and as people started getting put in jail and people started rising up, it made it a safer place for people to kind of want to work with like the movie industry and all that, because
It cleaned it up a little bit.
it cleaned it up. So now sponsors were obviously at the beginning, people they were more afraid to get into it, and people were getting scrutinized for everything that they were doing. And with the bans that have been going on, I think Twitch and all of them are doing the right things. They're banning the right people, they're moving the people, and they're not saying, oh, we're gonna investigate and then possibly we're going, like, they're investigating, and they're also putting bans on people while the allegations are out there. So they're not saying like, oh, we don't believe you and what you said, all these twitlongers, we don't believe anybody and what they're saying. Organizations are removing people, Twitch is banning people, sponsors are dropping people, everybody is getting, everybody who has been accused has been practically removed from the position. And it's not changing, it's making it better. It's making the industry a lot cleaner, and it's gonna be a good thing in the future. Right now it looks difficult. It looks like, oh shoot, we're doing all this stuff, and like, what if because of these people now we're screwed and we're not gonna get any of the sponsors that we're looking for in the future. But in reality, people are gonna get removed, and gonna create a better industry, and it's just gonna make it a better place in my opinion. Sponsors are gonna see that, and they're gonna want to start sponsoring things.
So I mean, because the thing is, like, I understand completely from every single side of the argument, right? But my concern is, so with Twitch announcing that they're not going to take any of these lightly, right? We've seen that. I mean, Dr. Disrespect is like one of those cases where potentially is one of those cases where by someone saying something, it's an automatic ban. So at one point, is it too far? What are we doing? Where are we doing things wrong? Because say you and I had a fight, and all of a sudden I hate you, and I tweet out, "Oh, you did this, blah 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 blah," Me Too movement, right?
Mm.
Because I put that tweet longer, are you automatically going to be banned, even though it's not true at all? Everything's completely false. What happens at that point?
I mean, in my opinion, it's obviously innocent until proven guilty.
Shout out Melicity, by the way. I like him. I like him in the chat.
He's ugly. I'll take this off. It's getting freaking hot. So, and
Y'all would take a minute.
sorry, this shit put me off track. Repeat your question. I completely lost it.
I lost where I was at because of Griffin.
Oh
my god.
Okay, well, we don't know what Dr. Disrespect did. To get back on track, we don't know what Dr. Disrespect. We don't know his allegation, the OS ban, and we don't know if it was sexual assault. We don't know if it was because he is starting his show. We don't know what it is exactly. We do know that in the past, he broke a federal law by recording in a restroom, and Twitch didn't ban him. So it had to be worse than that. Yeah. And all they did was give him a 3-day, or I think it was a 7-day actually. I think it was a 7-day taken. And all it did really was give him a 7-day vacation. He came back and he every dog out on it.
Yep.
So for him to get banned, it's like a completely different. It has to be something huge that Twitch just can't sit there and say, "Oh, we stand beside Dr. Makes us all this money." Like, no, they had to have something that is forcing their hand and making them ban Dr. and making everybody cut ties. Like, there's something that we're not seeing, and I don't want to say that it's sexual assault, because I'm not gonna sit here and blame somebody when I haven't even seen it. But it's at this time where sexual assault talked about and getting called out, where people have been talked about it. There's major streamers,
everyone in the world. Like, there's no one that's, I don't want to say safe from it, because if you did something like that, then you shouldn't be safe from anything.
Yeah.
You know, if you're doing something that horrible, then you need to suffer the consequences for what you did. That's not right at all. But it becomes a point of accusation versus actual instance. What are we gonna do to separate that? Because the biggest issue with this whole argument type of thing is the he said she said type of like agreement. Excuse me, argument. Like, at what point is it too far? How are we gonna figure out what we can do to make sure what's happening is actually happening? This might just be like the starting point, but I don't think that we're gonna be moving away from the Me Too movement anytime soon. Like, this is gonna be the boiling point, but it's gonna lead to so many better things to be able to actually determine when someone's lying versus when they're not lying. And one thing that I've been seeing a lot is people are saying that people that are lying about it, they need to suffer consequences for it. And
100%.
I agree 100% because uh the other day I was looking at a story about this teenager who was 24 now. He's been fighting a sexual rape charge for the last 6-7 years. Lost his scholarship, his full ride for playing football. Was one of the best football players that, with one of the greatest prospects coming up. Lost everything because someone faked an allegation.
It takes away from the movement because people like to ride the band, try to gain clout and stuff like that. And it sucks because it really does take away from the movement. Just like, you know, the whole protesters and Black Lives Matter, like people who were rioting, they take away from them because they are out to get, you know, personal gain. And people who lie about these stuff like that, it really does hurt them because people who are being 100% transparent and open, they're being, you know, they're being victims because of people who are just lying and openly being dishonest doing. And it really takes away from the movement because it forces them to stay quiet because then people don't believe them. That's also like a real thing. So, you know, with everything going on, I'm happy people are getting losing their careers because they don't deserve it. Quite honest, they really don't deserve it because like they're yeah, they just don't deserve it.
No, your mic's cutting in and out, by the way.
Oh really?
Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that. But no, I mean I know exactly what you mean. Like, especially if you're gonna be faking something, you need to suffer the consequence. Like, it can't be just a slap in the wrist for saying like, for just because you hate someone or dislike them. Like, there's a point where it's too far. Griffin's ugly more. Now you're good. You're good. Go ahead and adjust it.
I think I know why.
Better? Let us know, chat. And vouch, Griffin. Legacy is such a simp. Yep. Vouch.
Okay, I think is it better now, people? Everybody in the chat, is it good? Legacy's such a simp. Screw you. I'm just gonna start attacking people. Screw you.
Yep,
Okay,
you're on the cast right now.
So I'm assuming it's probably doing better now. It's not cutting in and out anymore. Everybody, it's good, good. Nobody says it's cutting out, then that means it's good. Okay. Safe to assume it's good. All right, it's fucking good. I don't care anymore. Fuck you guys. All right, so I'm gonna change the topic a little bit, and I'm gonna talk about okay. Let's answer some questions because there's people that are talking about Griffin's return. Griffin is an ugly mole rat. Mike is cutting in and out. Mike's cutting in and out. Griffin's an ugly mole rat. What is Joel? Dude, Legacy is such a simp. Get me out of the cast. It's better. You good? What are your guys' thoughts on there? What are your guys' thoughts on AGN Indy? And what about Griffin's return? Okay, so what about Griffin's return? He disappeared and then he came back. He hasn't made a return yet. I would like to see where Griffin would go. If I had a choice of where he would go, he would come to NoMercy Esports just because I want to get everybody who can give me money on a
like, no, Griffin has a lot of potential, but no, Griffin had money, I take.
Exactly. If you have money and you want to join NoMercy Esports as an investor, I will gladly pick you up as long as you have no history of you know, bad voodoo or juju or anything.
It's all about second chances, bro. Like, that was one of the things that we
okay, so
about.
Sensei Griffin just said in the chat, Benny XO, chill. I'll moan your name.
Ooh.
All right, so that right there is gonna be a no for me, dog. I'm sorry, but anybody who fucks with Benny does not fuck with me.
Yeah, fuck Benny.
Fuck
Fuck that
Benny. All my homies hate Benny.
kid. Best in these nuts.
All right, no, but I want to actually move along to. Okay, I want to move to the decision of Vortex shutting down Hire and moving over to what is now his home in NoMercy Esports. And I kind of want to go into what happened to make this decision, because I know what happened, but I want
You gonna
everybody
make
else
me
to kind of
cry.
know. That's fine. That's what we need. Okay, so basically, I want to ask, what made you, out of all the organizations you could have joined, because I know the organizations that were also speaking to you, you've told me about it, and what made you choose somebody that you literally met in Minnesota for the first time, which is January 28th, the GOAT's birthday, by the way, J. Cole. January 28th. We met in Minnesota. I think that was actually January like 26th or something, but
It was like 26th or 28th.
It was like 26th. 28th is when I flew back. That's what I remember.
Mhm.
But we met in Minnesota for the very first time. We had spoken before. We had spoken when I just started. You know, you went over the contracts for the team that I will not name because they hate me. Some of them hate me. I'm still cool with a couple of them, but the other ones, they absolutely despise me. So what made you go from, you know, your organization to joining this organization?
So I think the biggest the starting point was financially. Was for my organization, it was difficult being the only one putting money up. And whenever I was in charge of the org, you can ask a lot of people that were in it. I've never asked people that weren't part of the ownership group for money. Like, and there's a lot of orgs out here that do ask their management members for money, which I'm highly against. Like, if you go to work at McDonald's, is your boss gonna ask their cashier, "Hey, I need $6 so I can order the next case of burger meat"? Like, that's stupid. Like, they don't have any ownership. They're working towards a bigger goal like you are, but you're the one that has to put up the money and make sure that everything can happen. Okay, Griffin. We should have kicked your ass.
Yep.
Uh, nah, but like that was one of the biggest things. Is financially, it was a big struggle. You know, I was putting up a lot of money, and just the stress of running the org day to day, mostly by myself. Like, I had a lot of good members in management, but it's just I had a big issue trusting people around me, and it wasn't because I didn't trust them, but it's because it was my baby. You know what I mean? And it's hard to trust somebody with your baby. So I was just that with financial issues, and it's just everything piled up. I thought I needed to take a break from hire or esports in general, and so I took that little bit of a break. And then you and I were talking that entire time. We had kept a good communication up. You were always like, "Oh, come join me, come join me." But I always thought it was a joking way until we actually sat down and discussed it. And like, just
Fucking Chad, dude. Benny said Brian is holding it in, and I lost it because Melicity said her line getting an F court violation, and I fucking lost it. Why did Benny have to say he's holding it in?
I was trying to avoid the chat the whole time. Fuck you guys.
That would give me only
Fucking higher than his hairline.
Oh, he said that. Oh shit!
There's a reason I'm wearing a hat, bro.
I can't figure out what the fuck's going on with my hair, so I'm just like moving it side to side.
Dude,
All
my
right.
hair's way too long, bro.
Only motherfucker higher is his fat ass nose. Okay. I have a fat nose too. What the fuck, yo?
Your nose is bigger than mine.
It is, bro. I have a fucking big ass nose. Look at this.
Mine's
shit.
longer, yours is fatter. And I'm talking about noses. Next question.
Continue with what we were saying.
Okay, so like we had kept a good communication up, and I was talking to a lot of other organizations out there, and the biggest thing that I saw the difference was, one, I love the branding. Branding was amazing, and like I knew that the rebrand was happening before anyone else did, and so when you showed me the new graphics, it was still something that I loved more than the original, and something that it's just like the new graphics are just amazing. The new branding was amazing. That really pushed me to it. The fact that even though I wasn't a part of the team and you were still trying to bring me on, you kept me in the loop of a lot of stuff. So you made me feel like I was already a part of the team before I even joined, right? And not to say other orgs didn't, but it's just it became a thing of like what brand I believe
I
in more.
fucking hate chat, bro. You said wait on the smile, and I fucking smiled. I hate this fucking dude. All right, I'm gonna stop reading chat while you're talking. Fuck this. I'm blocking
All right,
chat.
all right, all right.
Go, go, go.
And so it just became a thing of like whose branding I loved. Like I feel like I could work with the most. Whose team members I felt like I could work with the most, and what potential I saw in the organization. And I'm
I
not
think
saying,
at that time, actually, with what happened, we lost all of our fucking team members.
and that's
And
exactly it. Because the thing is,
so,
like, that whole situation happened with he who shall not be named,
mhm.
and the way that you and I talked about how it happened, it made me feel the same way. Like I felt like I felt the same way every time that I've been knocked down. And the fact that you were still getting up, you changed the branding, you did everything good. Fucking shit.
Are you reading chat? I didn't read
No, I
chat.
didn't chat. I fucking had a notification pop up and I see Patrick saying, just gonna wait and see the T24 placements again. Fucking bitch. And this motherfucker said Kleenex. Okay.
All right, Kleenex cock block champs. Oh my god.
Vouch.
Don't
Hard
worry,
fucking
we'll be in
vouch.
champs this year.
We'll be at champs this year. No fucking doubt in my mind.
Am champs.
But like I was saying, bro, like just going back to everything, I saw the way that you got knocked down and the way that you were gonna get back up, and it was the same exact mindset that I had. And it's just from that moment on, I knew that it was gonna be a bigger connection than just a business partner, because we had a very very similar mindset. You and I know what it's gonna require to get to the top, and we know what we need to do to execute it. And the fact that there's someone that has a similar mindset to me means that we're gonna be doing a lot bigger things than people realize.
Not
That
even a
was the
similar
fun.
mindset, similar last name, similar weight, similar family, everything, bro. Like what the fuck?
We're like the
Eh,
same person, dog.
Basically,
Dead
that's
ass.
what I've learned. And I learned this like after you came aboard. Like this isn't even like when I met you or like anything. Like when we first started talking, it was kind of like, okay, I know who Vortex is. You know who I am. I
Yeah.
know I know him slightly, and as you came aboard, it became more and more like we made it obvious. I'm not gonna lie, like we randomly went from like not speaking to each other to openly like adding each other on the TL and like talking to each other and like all this shit. Like we kind of made it obvious, but also it didn't. We didn't speak on you joining, and we didn't speak on you being a part of this. Like we mostly just spoke about like playing
Being
video
homies.
games and like
We were just
yeah, it
being
was
homies
mostly
at the
like
time.
that. Yeah, and then that's how I kind of us playing a lot and a lot. Stop fucking looking at chat.
I'm not looking at chat.
The more we played and like the more we spoke and shit, the more that we became closer and closer. Like no homo or homo, no homo. The more that we spoke and the more that we talked, like well, spoke and talked, same fucking word. We became closer and closer, and we kind of learned like so much about each other, and like a lot of shit like is almost the same, which is really
We're
cool.
like we're like literally the same person, which is the craziest thing. It's just like true duo, true duo. Yeah,
Basically.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Brian's
Yeah.
nose looks like a mushroom. All right, listen, Benny, I'm gonna fucking ban your ass if you don't shut the fuck up. This
Oh, I was
motherfucker
looking at chat and I see Benny. Joel is dying. Lol, he's holding it back and I fucking lost it.
looks like some shit Mario would jump on. I'm done. I'm getting roasted in my own podcast, episode 1. Call it a day.
Vouch, Melicity, vouch.
I don't. I sometimes sleep with my socks on. I'm not gonna cap.
I do pour the milk before my cereal. Hold on, I do that shit. That is the proper way to pour your cereal. Milk before cereal. The No Mercy jersey does stay on during sex. I show that bitch no mercy.
yeah. And by bitch, he means his right hand.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. So, I guess we're just gonna keep jumping from topic to topic. This is our first podcast. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. I'm not even
I'm
kidding.
just here to fucking vibe and have fun,
Exactly.
bro.
That's all it
Bob
is.
the Destroyer. First of all, your name's fucking sick. Why do I pour milk first? Okay, think about it this way. Right? Okay. I know how much milk I want because that's how much milk I'm gonna drink, right? Right? Then I pour the cereal. So I don't like my cereal getting soggy. So when I kill my cereal, I just pour more in it until the bowl is dead. That's why you do milk first.
Motherfucker thought he did something, not chat. He really thought he was onto something. All 2 inches of No Mercy. Oh my god.
We're 2 inches combined, okay? Get that shit straight.
Okay. Benny wants us to talk about GAs. Okay, here's what I'm gonna say. There was 11 votes on GAs, and unless 6 people are main ARs, I feel bad for the AM community because you just let an AR. 1 out of 5 players on the field are ARs.
So
One.
okay,
Hold on,
so
nah,
let me-
nah, 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 nah. I'm
no.
gonna talk my shit real quick. 1 out of 5 players are main ARs. You guys got outvoted by 2% of the community. How does that feel, chat? You guys are fucking dumb. Like a knife. I'm just gonna say it. You got outvoted to keep a knife in the game. Like, how was it even that close? Like, it's a fucking knife. Like it gave plays. It made it fun. And now Modern Warfare literally has gone from dog shit but some cool plays to you're gonna be using an Uzi. Who the fuck wants to see an Uzi?
Vouch.
That looks
Okay,
terrible.
but look. Okay, I see this in the chat. It was fucking Prolu. Okay, listen. Okay,
Yeah, I
the
know it's
way
Prolu.
that the voting system works, as far as I'm aware. Okay, keyword as far as I'm aware. It's like the election. So your team votes internally, and that team's vote gets decided by like their team gets one vote.
That's fucked up. Parasite didn't have a team when this vote happened. That's fucked up, dude. Like, he had his whole ass team switch up on him out of one day.
That's what I think, but it doesn't make sense because the way that I see that happening, right? And if we can somehow get a top am in here to fucking correct us on this, right?
Where's Fame when
when
you need him?
Famous he's streaming Chicago right now, according to Benny, right?
Oh.
Lit. So the way that Fame said it on Twitter was there are 11 votes right now. Proloot is the deciding vote, which confused the shit out of me. So it's either one representative per team, and most of them are main ARs because realistically, if a team drops someone, they're gonna drop a sub or a regular AR. They'll never drop the main AR. The main AR is the quarterback. You're always gonna stick with your main AR as far as you possibly can, right?
That is true.
So if that's the representatives for the teams, right, and it was an 11 person vote, do you think it's possible that it's just those people that voted and the rest and they're just like, we're not playing with knives because they voted, type of thing?
I truly don't know what happened. I don't know how the vote works. I don't know how it is, but I'm just basing it off of facts. 230 teams play in the AM scene every weekend, and for 230 teams to be playing, that means 800 of them have to be subs, and 200 of them have to. About 20% of the community is a main AR, and for the main AR to have gotten a bump, and it's crazy how nerfing 10 made them get rid of 10 Like, I don't understand that at all. Like, that's so
Okay.
weird.
So the way that I think everything happened was because it's been an issue all year, right? But nothing happened because no one cared enough about it. You have this new nerf come in, 10 gets nerfed, now all of a sudden you create a god tier gun out of the Uzi, right? Because no one was using the Uzi before. And all of a sudden, the 4-1 caliber shots
That shit
are
is
fucking frying. So now the reason that both of them got banned is because you took two guns that were decent, you made them god tier guns by one attachment. Different attachments, but the same exact category. They're both ammo upgrades. So because now they saw the other gun and how one attachment affected both of them, they just canceled all of it. They just banned it all, which it makes sense, but the fact that it took this long, that's on the developer for not showing the capabilities of the guns, realistically.
It's
And
just
but
this
why
game.
the fuck you ban the knife, dog? I'm still pissed off about that.
That's
What
so
the fuck?
stupid. That's still the fucking dumbest thing I've heard. Like, people are getting mad that they banned a knife because I guess I kind of understand it because ARs don't run knives, they run pistols. But still, like, if you're running a pistol, like, just put on the fucking knife.
Benny.
I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. Like, they took away some good plays, and it what's really cool though is that we saw the AM community come in and do this themselves. This isn't like the pros created a GA, and now that GA is a thing in the AM community. Like this time it was the AMs created a GA, and now the professional community is thinking about taking that GA, because now they're also speaking on it and they've been doing stuff like that. So it's completely different. It's not my place to talk on it because I'm an org owner. I'm not a player. I truly don't give a fuck what you ban. I truly don't care, because at the end of the day, the same teams that have been placing top 8 are still gonna place top 8. A knife and a fucking attachment isn't gonna change a goddamn thing.
I
At the
swear
end
to
of the
God, if
day,
Benny fucking becomes a top 8 player because the knife is banned, I'm gonna lose my shit, dog.
if Benny becomes a top 8 player because a fucking something gets banned, he's not even an AR. This dude's a fucking MP5. But I truly hope that this whole ban brings a flex into the game, because this game has been missing a flex. And the MP7 is the perfect gun to be a flex with. Like, you can add range, or you can make it a deadly upfront weapon.
Bro,
Because
if I
now
can be
there's
nasty
no,
with it in Warzone, that gun deserves a fucking medal. Because I fucking suck,
yeah, nasty Warzone.
bitch.
But I think that now there could be like a real flex, like in this game, where, in the past, well, in the last title, it was SOG, Maddox, ICR, SOG. I mean, ICR Maddox. The flex was typically the guy who ran the Maddox all game. Like, he was just a Maddox. The flex was the ICR Maddox guy or the SOG Maddox guy. Now, if you can have like those flexes who map to map, they pick up an MP5 that has more range. I mean, an MP7 that has more range, or they pick up an MP7 that's a little deadlier up front. Now you have 5 different iterations of weapons that can create this kind of level playing field, where now you have that super deadly upfront shoots fast weapon. Then you have the second weapon that's a little bit more rangeful, that sits in the middle, I guess, of both of them, where you more of a deadly medium range, close range guy. And then you have your long range AR M4 that has been a part of the game for so long. That's gonna be your long range capabilities, holding down lanes and doing stuff like that. Like, that's cool. But if all this does is just remove an attachment, it's the exact same meta, then it doesn't really do shit. At the end of the day, it doesn't do anything.
Personally, I hate GAs. I think they're stupid. Like, I understand, GAing certain things that are overpowered and broken, but this is my argument since the beginning of time, bro. Like, you GA something because, quote unquote, it's overpowered, right? But as an audience, as a viewer, we don't know what is and isn't overpowered. We just watch it, and last year, what was it? What was that? All Scorchix got GA'd, right? But
No, that's this year.
oh, this year all Scorchix got GA'd. Last year, it was everything but the fucking missile and
Yeah, it's like 3 of them. It was two of them.
It was just two of them, and I'm sitting here like.
But that was cool. I actually enjoyed those GAs because those were actually like
yeah, those
good.
were decent.
Those
GAs,
were really good.
The thing though is, like, the way I see it, right, is yes, I get it. An attack helicopter is incredibly powerful. It's nasty. But if you are good enough to get it, why? Like, you're literally just handicapping someone because you're not as good as them. That's the way I see it. What's
Makes
up,
sense.
Tarek? How you doing, brother? I don't like GAs. I've been against them this entire time. I think if we just play the game how it's supposed to be played, obviously, shotguns, because shotguns are fucking cheap. But like ARs, submachine gun snipers, I think they're nasty. Robbie B coming back.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
The fact, okay, I saw Robbie B playing
Okay.
tens yesterday.
Let's talk about it this way. Let's start off with the setup for the new for the AM champs.
Champs.
Let me look
so
up
we
this
have
tweet real quick.
T24 auto qualify via pro points, right? And it's a roster lock from the last homestand. Okay. Every other team goes into a.
We're gonna use this.
I like this.
This is the perfect time to have used this.
Yep.
So now we basically have the challengers format, which is what everybody's seen. No, you can't even fucking read it. God damn it! I hate this fucking setup. Fuck.
So.
Okay, so it's gonna be 500,000 over price pool over the entire NA, EU, all that region, right? Challengers. No, this is the postseason format. Challengers. This is a completely different thing. I think I'm looking at the wrong.
No, that's exactly.
No, that's it. There
exactly
it is. There it is. So top 32 NA teams will play in a double elimination bracket for 250K. Okay, so I understand people are upset because like, oh, top 24 is getting in instantly, and um, like why is it top 24? Why isn't it top 16? Okay, listen, top 24. I understand why they're getting in, but they haven't announced how the breakdown is gonna go. If I'm not mistaken, like who's getting what money, right?
So they've not announced the money.
Okay, so they haven't announced any of that. Um, so I don't know if that's a bad thing that top 24 got in because at the end of the day, you don't know if you have to race for top 8. You don't know if first place is getting 125k. And then they have to split 125 evenly between 15 other spots if top 16 gets paid out. But in my opinion, it should be a top 16, a top 8 payout where if you've grinded and you've done your best, the lowest you can get is top 8 and you get money, and that's pretty much Sunday games.
Yep.
But the way that they do it, I'm 90% sure it's going to be 32 team payout, and everybody who qualified is getting in. But
I think we're looking at a similar payout to what Minnesota was because Minnesota paid out T16 and it was for $250,000 at the event. So
yeah,
with this being,
could be that.
yeah, it's going to be a similar thing.
I think it
Um,
is possibly.
and like the concern about T24 teams, like people are upset that the way it literally sounds in my head, and again, I'm just an org owner, I'm just dude that's here watching the scene. I don't play, okay? It sounds like you're upset that they're rewarding consistency.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't understand why a lot of times these arguments happen. And when you see it, it's people that are placing T128, T256, T80, T64 that have the biggest complaints,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like I get it, like oh T24 I might have qualified, now I gotta play for 8 spots. I mean, even if you played a regular like 2K event, you don't have to play Triumph round 2. Be
Mm-hmm.
happy about that. You're gonna play someone who averages T32 for round 2, and yeah, you'll still probably get shit on because you suck. But at the end of the day, it's an easier way for you to get into champs.
Good players are gonna get egoed for mediocre players with more pro points, like Symbols, Prodigy. Okay, so here's what I have to say about that. I understand that Prodigy and Symbols got a late start. They're really good players, and I fuck with Symbols heavy. Like Symbols is like one of the coolest kids I fucking know in the scene. He just turned 18, and I get it. Pro points are not gonna be chosen over anything else. It's been that way all season. Nothing's
Oh,
changed.
I was no, no, no.
I
One
don't
counter
understand
argument
the
I have to
difference.
that, right? If you're sitting here and you're gonna sit here and tell me pro points are the reason a player is going to get picked up, why did Mac Melts get picked up instantly? Why did Siblings get picked up instantly? Fire 40. You have 3 players right there started off the year right before Minnesota, no pro points, and all of a sudden they got picked up to good teams. Their skill backs it up, and I'm not gonna bullshit you. Be like, oh, it's because Symbols and Prod aren't good players. Like Symbols and Prod are amazing players. Prod got fucking MVP at the last LAN he attended. Okay, Symbols has been in the scene for such a long time, and he's been playing at such a consistent good level that like it wouldn't make sense for a team not to pick him up. Okay, but we saw those other players with no pro points get picked up instantly because of what they've done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just show what you're capable of, it doesn't matter how many pro points you have because again, the LCQ is gonna get you in there. And even if say T24 isn't an option, it's like even if you say T24 is because like a T24 team isn't an option, there's still a lot of amazing talent that's gonna be turned down because they're not T24 automatically. So the argument is still invalid because now you have players that are good with lower pro points that are gonna team and make an underrated God squad and make a run for the LCQ and potentially at champs. Pro points don't mean shit. They've never meant shit.
Get a round of
Uh,
applause, please.
vouch, vouch, vouch.
Vouch, 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 vouch. Do the finger snaps. I can't finger snaps. Those are the finger snaps. I'm gonna have to get some stuff going here. Um, Lightning the joke. Fuck
Wow, fuck
Vortex. I'm down.
Michael. I love
Okay.
that kid.
Symbols would be fine if he didn't just turn 18. Okay. I kind of understand that, and like, so here's the difficult thing about the scene. It's that you can be a really good player and you won't get picked up because you honestly because you don't have a good track record, and you don't have a good track record because you've been teaming with shitters your entire life. And like I've seen that with Symbols, I've seen that with Prodigy, I've seen that with even Prodigy's a 6-time land champion. He doesn't get picked up. Like if that's the bar and he's won 6 lands, albeit he did win them late in the season last year. I think he won like 3 of them last year late in the season, but he still has won them. And people will always try to discredit people for winning those. But at the end of the day, you still had competition that you had to beat. Like you could have been the worst team there and won that because you just played better than the best team there. And if Cheeto and Prodigy were the worst team there and they won, and people are still going to say, oh, well, you won because nobody's trying anymore. If you pay $300 to get into an event, you're trying. Point blank, period. You're fucking there to win money.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to hear any of that, but it is difficult when you just turned 18 and you're getting on, but you haven't done anything because stuff has halted you from going to lands or going to events or going to anything. Like fucking Secret went to a top 6, a 6-team event and placed top 4. Like I'm just gonna be honest with you, T4 sounds nice, but you placed top 6 in a 6-team event. I mean top 4 in a 6-team event. You should have placed a little bit better, even with the talent that you had on your team. Sometimes you got to do more to stand up from the rest. Like Fire has done so much to get his name out there, and he has created his brand. He has created his name. Even though he probably doesn't have the biggest, resume, he has always been a name that people have been looking at since he started. Just because he's done enough to get his name out there. He has made people look bad. He is a top amp, and he has made people look bad in tents. He has made people look bad in tournaments, and he's just really, really good. And at the end of the day, it's basically you got to build your resume. Like nobody's gonna build it for you. Nobody's gonna do it for you. Like you'll see people play, all day, and then you'll see people who haven't played all day, and then that's one of the reasons why you never make it. Like if you don't play all day, you don't put your time out there. If you don't talk to the right people, it's the same thing as being an org owner. If I don't socialize, I'm never gonna talk. I'm never gonna make it. It's just that's the way it always is. It's always gonna be. It's the people you know, not how good you are.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to know people in order to get out there. And what has fucked up this season is that you can't get out there and know people. Like you can't just get into somebody's Twitter DM and speak to them. Like, and it's unfortunate, but it's not the way it's gonna work anymore. Like you have to. If we had lands, I can see it being a lot different. Where Symbols could have gone to whatever land came up. Let's say he would have gone to the New York Subliners land this season, and let's say not everybody can go. That's his opportunity to go win a chip. But now because everything is online,
you have to take the opportunity as it presents itself.
yeah.
Because the thing is, right, and I saw Benny say this earlier, saying like, well, they picked them up because they're gonna make certain pro points, blah blah blah. And there's only 3 home series left. There's only 3 home series left, right? You have been given an opportunity to make the most out of what you have available. If I came to someone right now and said, hey, you need to complete this puzzle, and I'm gonna give you $100,000. You don't know what the fuck it is. You don't know how to anything. Are you gonna try your hardest, or are you just gonna give up? Be like, nah, I need practice, and I'll come back later.
Mm.
You have to make the most out of the opportunities you're given, because an opportunity will always present itself. You just have to be ready to take that opportunity.
Like I'm gonna use Lightning as an example. Like he was dropped right before Minnesota, and he was seen as a shit. He was seen as a shitter for a little while. I'm not even gonna lie to you. His placement in Minnesota didn't help him with his resume at all.
I like Michael.
But the fucking guy placed top 8 2 times in a row with pickup squads. Like you don't do that just because you fucking suck. Like you do that because you're a good player. You do that because you socialize properly. You do that because you got the right connections. And last weekend he placed top 32. You don't go T8, T8, T32 because, you're great. Like unfortunate that the puzzles didn't fit. The puzzle pieces didn't fit this weekend. He fit better with the teams that he played the 2 weekends before. And then this team that he played with, they just weren't as good. They're good individual players, but they didn't play well as a team. And that's one of the reasons Michael unfortunately got dropped in the beginning, was because this title he didn't play well in the beginning. And it forced him into a situation that he wasn't ready for. And although he had a really good squad going into Minnesota, they didn't have the best practice. They didn't have the best, in my opinion, the best communication. So they were basically playing on their own. They were playing single player games while other teams who were more established placed T24 or higher. Yeah. I didn't mean for it to come out that way, but
I fucking hate you. Brian, I am going to shoot you. I'm going to beat your ass next time I see you. Oh my.
I didn't mean for it to come out that way, but good teams that place top 24 or higher, and it's because of the fact that they had good communication, they had good practice, they knew how to play off of each other, and they've always been they had the time to do it. So just like his team, higher who placed top 24 in Minnesota, I can guarantee with Michael they placed top 24 as well because they had the communication, they had the chemistry. That core four was already good. With Michael, they were still top 24, if not better. Who knows? Nobody knows what would have happened, but I can guarantee you they would not have placed worse than top 24, just because they were a good roster. Hunt is a great team, great player. Uh,
Fame.
Fame, Jansport, Jake, Michael, everybody who was on that team, even the person that Michael got replaced for, Ethan,
Look,
was
look.
a great fucking player. They were just all good players, but it was an unfortunate ending to a great run.
I was talking with this about this with Patrick the other day, and like I say I got lucky a lot because of the players that I got, right? And when you look at the players that I've had and what they've gone on to do, it just shows the caliber of play, like the caliber of each of those players was amazing. I just don't think the puzzle never fit together properly. Okay, you've had Fame just won a championship. Okay, I want to put that out there. Fame just won a championship. Hunt, consistent T8 T16 player. Michael, back to back T8s. Waterhead, he was in T8 as soon as the event started going online. He and Ethan were teaming, and they got consistent T8 T16. Jake, consistent very very consistent T16. Pharma, consistent T16, almost breaking a push to T8, bro. Like every single player that I've had has made an amazing push. The only player that hasn't made that push is Beans because after Minnesota, he's dedicated to playing as a Warzone player. But even in that, he's excelling. My man's consistently dropping 30, 50 plus kill games. Like my players have all excelled in what they've done and what they've chosen to do. It's just the puzzle didn't fit at that point in time.
Basically,
Beans is
Beans is
disgusting,
disgusting.
dude.
So back
It's
to
insane.
back to what the question was is the top 24 getting instant in, and then it's an A team last chance qualifier. Regardless of who gets in instantly, it's still going to be a climb up. Even if they build a team out of just points, the reason I was saying that Michael's pickup squads T8 T8 T32 pickup squads will not always be the best option. So anybody can build a team out of pro points, but I guarantee you, the 8 teams that are getting in through the last chance qualifier have a better chance than the last 8 teams that get in because of pro points. Because those 8 teams that get in because of pro points, they're all pickup squads. The top 8 teams that get in through the last chance qualifier are probably going to have a better opportunity of placing T16 than the last 8 teams that get in because of pro points. And that's just going to be the truth, because it's going to be a battle to get in from the last chance qualifier, and there's going to be people who are already in T16 to T24 because they had really good pro points or whatever. Unfortunately, based on what I'm thinking, is if 16 teams insta qualify for round 2, it's going to be the battle of the last 8 and the last 8 to get in from pro points and the best 8 to get in from last chance qualifier. If that ends up being the way that it breaks down, and the last chance qualifier versus the top 8, I'm probably going to go ahead and say 75% of the teams that win are going to be the teams that come in from the LCQ. And that's just because they
Really?
probably have more experience, they probably have more practice. Like, they didn't give up on what they were building. The teams that make it based off of
So
pro points is solely a team built on pro points. They don't know how to play with each other.
I will give you this right now. There will be teams that shouldn't make it through automatic qualification that will make it because they're just sticking together.
Yeah.
There will be multiple teams that will break up after the last event, play a pickup squad, and go into LCQ. And they're gonna go into LCQ and run shit. So, like, you could let's just take Triumph as an example, right? They just picked up a fire, right?
I don't trust Triumph at all. I'm gonna be
No,
honest with you. I
no,
don't
but I'm just
trust
using
them.
them as an example.
I
I'm just
don't
using
think
them as
they're
an example,
good.
right? So imagine this. Imagine they take fire, and I'm not saying this is gonna happen. I'm just saying imagine this happens, right? And the next 3 events they place T32 back to back to back. Are they going to drop fire after the last event, or are they just going to auto qualify because they have the pro points and then not even placing the money? because they've been consistently placed in T32. Are they going to take that chance, or are they going to say, we're going to fix it, we're going to build it? Or are they going to actually make that roster change, go run it through the LCQ, qualify, and now another team that isn't as good is going to qualify for 3 Pro Points because the number 1 Pro Point team broke up. And if that happens, Roster Mania is happening. How does I don't think there's a question that if something like that happens and Roster Mania happens and breaks up a lot of top tier teams, like the only teams I see sticking together through the end of the season right now, probably 6G and Team Vengeance. I don't see either of those two teams making a change. They've been consistent, they've played well, and if every other team in T24 go through Roster Mania, changes shit, and all of a sudden T48 to T64 teams auto qualify because they didn't make a roster change, what's gonna happen? FaZe won't change. I forgot about that. FaZe will not change. They haven't changed.
Yeah.
Since.
They've been writing it out, and then they went from being one of the they went from a laughing stock to possibly being the best team right now in NA.
I don't think it's possible. I think they are the best team right now.
Yeah.
The best consistency wise. They've won 3 out of the last 5. They've been in 5 of the last grand finals and won 3 of them.
Okay, so I want to touch on 2 more topics that came. 2 more topics. One that came from the chat, one that I wanted to speak on myself. So basically, they said, "What do you think of War running the EU scene, and is it based off of gun skill or is it based off communication?" And then the last one I want to talk about is what happened to Westar right before they kind of, I guess, found their form again.
Yep.
And then I would like to talk about 6G going possibly messing up with the pickup or something. I want to kind of give my thoughts on that as well. So let's start off with EU and War. I am gonna go ahead and say Trey recently did a podcast with Baker, and they were talking about how they stuck together even though he played with somebody who he fucking hated. They despised each other, but they still played well, placed second multiple times. They talked about how Singularity went from being the best team, running everything, and then they make a roster change and everything goes to shit. I really think that if they kept Chain, they still play really well. I understand, vibes weren't great or something like that, and one of the excuses was internet was bad, so they were playing terrible. I think if this stays as LAN, I don't think anything goes wrong. I truly think Singularity keeps that place. Just because, Singularity and War were the best teams. Like, that's just point blank period. Like, they were the best teams in the world, not just NA, not just EU, not APAC. They were the best team in the world. They were taking maps off of rosters that were in the COD League. Like, I guarantee if you put Toronto Ultra and LAG versus Singularity and War, one of those teams is not getting back into the Pro League.
War and Singularity are T6 teams in the world. Yeah. I'm not talking about challenge. I'm talking about overall general. Mm-hmm. I think that Team War and Singularity before the roster change, because I don't know how Singularity's doing right now. Like, they haven't been at it, right? But you put Team War, this current Team War, Singularity from Minnesota, they can go up against the top 4 teams in North America or in the CDL, and I think that it would be just a fight between them two and subliners to see who are the 2 would be the final T6 teams. No doubt in my mind. They would do a lot better than some of the teams that we have in the CDL.
Yeah, I can guarantee that, just because they're just a better team. To be honest, they just play better. But with what's going on with Singularity, I don't know what happened. I don't know how they went from running the scene to now kind of placing outside of the top 2, where I think they've had 1 top 2 in the last 4 events, if I'm not mistaken. The rest of them are like top 4, top 3, top 6. I don't think they've placed top 6. I think top 4 is their worst placement.
No, they've had a couple rough placements. I think
have they?
T8.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they pull them up the results right now.
They've had some bad. They're not okay. We're not gonna say bad because they're not bad. They're still good placements, but they've had some troubles in the last couple of weeks, and I truly do think that War right now is the best team in in NA, EU, APAC, in the world of AM teams, and I truly feel that they are a top 4 team. If they were in the league, they'd be a top 4 team. Top 6. I think they'd be a top 6 team, possibly better than Subliners, if I'm being honest, just because Subliners haven't shown enough to me.
So what is the potential, especially with Mac? That Mac is the biggest thing that makes that team.
Definitely. Would you consider War a dynasty? Saw this argument on Twitter. I think you do, just with what they did in champs last year, stuck together and have now dominated the EU scene. But it's just so hard to tell because obviously we know they're great, but like I wish there was a LAN. I just wish I could see LAN, just because I think that if they do the same thing on LAN, you just can't deny that they're the best and the best AM team. It's just EU and NA play different. It's the truth. They don't play the same game. Their styles are different, and the events that Singularity has been in or War has been in, they've placed top 2. I think at Paris, I think they played each other. War and Singularity played each other in Paris for the championship, and Paris. EU and Singularity and War face each other in Minnesota for champs. No, not for champs. For finals. Yeah, it was like a T4 thing.
It was It was for T2. Yeah, it's for grand finals.
So I just think Team War is 100% the best team.
No doubt.
Even if they played NA teams, like I just don't think it's. I don't think it's a debate. But now I want to kind of talk about what happened with like Westar, now Rebel. So they won LA under me, and while they played under me, they were all FAs. Just to be honest, I think Zap was on the Seattle, the hybrid roster with Spoof. I think that was the intention. I think they were playing together before. Paul X was doing his own thing. Venom was gonna go. Well, Venom didn't know he was gonna go to FaZe yet, but Venom was going to FaZe. And Parasite was an FA. Glow Frosty was coming off of the 6G roster, and they won LA. And at LA, they didn't know what they were gonna do. I pushed them. I swayed them in a direction. I will not say that it was me that made them stick together. I will not take credit for that. But I did talk to them, and I did tell them, like, I think your best opportunity going pro would most likely be sticking together. And when they won LA, I had the opportunity to send them to Dallas. Unfortunately, we went into COVID. So I truly think if we stuck with LANs, I truly think that I would still have them under my organization. I think that it would have worked out. But we can't live in the past. It is what it is. Stuff happened. And I thought they were the best team. I stuck my head out for them so many weeks in a row. When they lost, when they won, when they lost, when they won. I was always saying, anybody who knows me will know, I was saying that nonstop. They are the best fucking team. I said they are the best fucking team. No debate. If they played War or Singularity, they'd win. And then stuff happened. Haggy got dropped. And then Wake got picked up. Gentroid left. And they became this team of... It became a clusterfuck. It was Glow Frosty, Zap, and Spoof. They were a core 3. They have not left each other. Stuff kept going wrong. They didn't know what they were going to be doing, and it became difficult to understand what was going on. And then they kind of found their rhythm again a little bit, but they're still not there. They're not at the place that I know they can be at, and I'm sure it's a mental block that's stopping them, because this team should be doing a lot better than they are. I think they should be winning more than they're losing, because I still believe that they are one of the best teams in NA, just to be blunt. I don't know if you have any input there, because I don't know if
I didn't really work with with them, but they was good.
Oh wait, can we say it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So Vortex and I actually teamed up to send that team to LA. So
yeah,
basically Vortex did work with them in a way, but not under hire. This was during the break that he took. And we teamed up. We sent them to LA, and I kind of forced him into it because I love him.
Yeah, he held the gun to my head, bro. I was like, okay.
Nick the Fame. Um, so yeah, he ended up helping me send them to LA. We ended up winning LA. I couldn't believe that they actually won. I honestly kept going to him and saying, we might place top three. You know, I don't know how great this team can be, but they might place top three. And they made everyone look like fucking shit. Like they made everyone look so bad. Like
Tiggy
they
hit the DMs.
Tiggy hit the DMs. How can I join? I don't know. Enemy is no longer a thing. Unfortunately, Enemy has ceased to exist. We're now NoMercy NM. Um, we had to make that
Gang gang.
change. That would be on another podcast, possibly. I don't know if I ever want to talk about what went down.
Now
Maybe.
let's hit the DMs. Actually, no one says that I'm hit the DMs.
City hit the DMs. I'm in unrestricted FA in 14 days. Good for you, Benny. Um, um, I mean, I'm basically out of topics. I don't know what else to talk about. We've gone. This was supposed to be a 30 to 40 minute podcast, and we ended up going an hour. And we're gonna put this on socials and whatever.
I'm sick. Bro. EXG relaunch. I'm gonna tell you right now. Thoughts? It shouldn't happen.
It
That's
shouldn't.
bullshit. Shut it down. Kill it with fire. Put it to rest. Let it die. Let it sleep. It does not need to be awoken. Whoever that was that bought it, and I know who it was about it, but I'm not gonna say any names because everyone knows who his name is. But Kevin, you need to get rid of that shit.
I'm not gonna say any names, but Kevin, you need to get rid of that shit.
Bro, like
Okay.
that is not the move.
Personally, me personally speaking, that was an 8,000 follower account, with some troubled past. It should not have been. It should have been rebranded completely with nothing at all to be stated. Just rebrand the whole thing and then just launch as a different name. Just state, you know, with what you did, whatever, this old organization owners, these guys fucked it up. We are a new brand, and I hope Kevin can win. I hope Kevin can do something, because I I wanted to work. I wanted to work with Kevin. I really did, but you know, we were in talks, and he said he would rather do something else, and good for him. But this wasn't it. Anything else you wanted to do, I support you. But bringing back this organization,
It's the same
it
exact
was.
thing as bringing back the denial org.
It's the same thing as bringing back Red Reserve. It's not gonna. It's not gonna work, man. It just won't. At the end of the day, it's unfortunate. It's sad. It's bad, and it sucks. But he did what he wanted to do. He's free to do whatever he wants. He's his own man, and I don't think he understood what was he was getting into, because I think he saw the brand, and I think he fell in love with it because he knew it was a brand that
It's a beautiful brand.
He felt it would be easy to build. He thought that if he stated the old ownership is now gone, you know, we're a new group of people, we can do it. I think he assumed that the world would be on his side, but that's not how it works. I'm against it, and just because he's a friend of mine, I'm not publicly going crazy on the TL stating that they're fucking idiots. But just like, you know, if somebody brought denial back, I'd be like, that's a fucking stupid move. Just like Spades, you know, it's the same thing as what was the name of it? They're Spades now. I forgot. Regal Reserve. When they were Regal Reserve, I just said it's a fucking stupid thing. If you're bringing it back as Spades, I know who owned Spades, and I told him that was a dumb idea. I said that was fucking stupid, giving him your brand for free. But he did what he wanted to do. He regrets it. And I think Kevin's gonna end up going through the same thing, unfortunately, and he's probably gonna regret the fact that he chose to do that instead of coming with me or doing something else. Anything else, I would have supported 100%. But it is what it is, and yeah, it's a shortcut. It 100% is. Everyone who takes shortcuts get bit in the ass, and it happens. It happened, and I just hope that he can. I hope he didn't waste money on this. I truly hope that he can turn it around, but it's gonna be very hard.
It's gonna be a bitch and a half to say the least.
And then the worst part is that when he owned Lethal Strike or Metagaming, when he owned that, he actually somehow managed to take Cap Crew under him, and it's unfortunate because now Cap thought he was joining something with people he can trust, and then Kevin ends up leaving and starting another thing when it was Meta, and then it's whatever team he bought previously, and then it becomes, he said that they wanted to shut it down because they want to do their own thing, and then it's Team Lethal Strike, and now he bought another one. So the fact that it went from something he started to something he bought to something he started to something he bought, the trend is there. It's probably going to be something he started. He's probably going to realize the backlash he's going to get from it, and he's going to have to start something new. And I just truly hope that he didn't fuck up his reputation.
It's a shortcut, man. I think people need to learn to understand that you get nowhere in life taking shortcuts. And like, it's just, I hate it. I hate when people do this shit because like, there's so much potential everywhere, but it's just make the wrong choices, wrong decisions, and all of a sudden now you're in a shithole. Like, you may have had the best of intentions, but because you didn't think about it a different way, you ruined that. You destroyed yourself when you should have been building yourself up and could have done it different ways.
All right, so final thoughts. I don't know what the fuck we talked about, so I'm not gonna put any final thoughts. We talked about so much shit. We welcomed the Vortex into the team, and I'm just excited for what we're gonna be doing in the future. We still have our Rocket League team that we're gonna be pushing. We loved it. They're currently competing in
They
some
nasty.
Stuff.
They nasty.
They're fun. It's gonna be fun to watch. It's gonna be a fun year. We're just hoping everything can go well and we don't have to worry about any troubles going forward.
I love you guys.
Gracias. But yeah, basically we're out of stuff that we're gonna be talking about. I just want to go ahead and put this on the screen real quick. The homie Trevor Mutiny, right here, the best hype man. He bought some NoMercy stuff.
Bro, I'm just gonna fucking do this.
He bought the old jacket. He preferred the old jacket because he liked the old jacket. It was nice. Vortex.
Yes, bro. Fuck
That's
yeah.
fire.
Hold on. Let me get back in the fucking shot. Oh. No muscles, baby.
Definitely appreciate everybody who came in. We're gonna go ahead and put this on YouTube, just so that way you guys can have that. Brian, check DMs after this. Got you. Joel, get a haircut so you won't get roasted next time. Sorry, I came a tone out. Oh, what's up, Twisted? It is what it is, Twisted. Sometimes you show up on time, sometimes you don't. We're gonna go ahead and put this on YouTube, so if anybody wants to watch a 1 hour sit down,
I think it's more like an hour and a half or some shit. But
as an hour and 11 minutes.
You want to watch two idiots go at it back and forth and talk about shit that has nothing to do with them? Let us know. We'll put it on YouTube.
We're gonna put it on YouTube. If you want to go watch it, it's gonna be on the YouTube page. We'll go ahead and post it out. Host Haggy. It's not my place to host Haggy. If I'm gonna host somebody, it would be somebody under the umbrella. It would be under the brand, and he's not working with us. So out of respect to the people who are working with us, no, we will not host Haggy.
I love Haggy. I love to have him on the show. We've never talked to him.
I would love to have Haggy on the show. I would love to see how everything went.
I'd probably be nervous as shit. Probably piss myself. Be like, oh my god, it's the world champ.
It's the world champ.
But he said host Ret the Sweat. Ret the Sweat is not working with NoMercy. But if he wants to, let me know.
But if he wants to, for real. Definitely appreciate you guys. It was fun. It was great. And I will be back again probably next week. We're probably going to try to do it like a weekly thing. More topics. We're going to try to get some people on. It's always not just us two talking about our stupid ideas. We can have a third person to tell us, hey, you fucking idiot, you're wrong.
I like that idea.
Yeah, exactly. So we appreciate you guys coming out. We hope to see you at the next one once a week. 3 times a week. You got me fucked up. You think I'm gonna be sitting in front of a camera for 1 hour wearing this fucking shit in 90-degree weather fucking
Get
3 times a week.
New Jersey, bro. I like this.
New Jersey. Alright. Appreciate y'all coming through. It was a fun podcast. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. What else do I have to say? Do you have any closing remarks?
I'm excited for the future, bro. I'm excited for the future.
That's all you got to say? Oh shit, I went offline too early. Sorry. I may or may not have fucked up and went offline too early, but it's okay. Oh, I didn't end the stream though. I didn't end the stream. I just put the offline graphic by
No,
accident.
you're good. No comment, Benny. No comment. No comment. But yeah, bro, I'm excited for the future. You guys have no idea what we have planned here at NoMercy, and let me just say, bro, we're gonna be merciless on these motherfuckers, and we're gonna take over, dog. We're
You're so
fucking
fucking
taking
dumb.
over, bro. There's no one holding me back, dog. No one. No one. Bro.
All right. I think we said what we needed to say. I appreciate all of you guys. We'll talk again in a couple of days. We've been prolonging this exit for fucking 2 minutes now. We don't know. We don't know what to say. Oh yeah, we didn't put our Twitter. Ah, that's where we fucked up, Vortex. We didn't put our stuff in the bottom.
They know
who we
who
are.
I
They
am.
came from
They know who I am. The ego. They know who I am.
Alright, man.